Hi, this is Jared.
And this is Eli.
And this is JetsChat. So today we're going to do a little, once again, kind of new with this podcast. We used to have another one, but we just switched it up just because we're just going to talk about the Jets. So we're going to have, last week we were just out of town, so we just couldn't get the podcast up. But normally we'll have a 5 or 10 minute podcast after the game. And then on Thursday, we'll have a little bit longer podcast talking about maybe a little bit of the game and then also looking to the future, to the next game. So obviously, today the game was?
Against the Titans. The Jets won in overtime, 27-24. It does feel good to win, even though it's...
Give me a little heart attack a couple times. I'm not saying anything.
It kept on going down to the wire. I mean, it was back and forth. Like
we had so many chances to close it out, but we finally won it. But we had so many chances. It was a close game. So we'll talk about it just a little bit here. Obviously, the defensive line, just dominated. How many sacks did we end up with?
I'm pretty sure it was 7.
Was it 7? I felt like it was
7 sacks.
We were crushing it. But once they broke, the only problem is as I said, with our once we it was weird. It was a weird game because if you're watching the game, you're like, oh, the defense is dominant. But I wouldn't say we were dominant. They scored 24 points on us. They had 300, but I think they had 300 something yards.
430 yards.
Well, some of it was in overtime, so it was 3. Yeah. I feel like it was 386 or something in the fourth quarter. I'm separate overtime because a typical game for a quarter, right? So, they had 166 or something yards. I don't know exact what I forgot what it was exactly right after the fourth quarter, but it was weird because I was watching the game. It's like we would just do an awesome play, tackle the quarterback, do something, and then we would get him into like 3rd and long, and then they would have it would be like 3rd and 21, and they would do a 22-yard play. It's like
it was like a screen too.
It was like good, and then oh my god, good, and oh my god, right every time. So it was like when you at some plays you look like we were, but we weren't dominant because we still gave them 24 points. It wasn't like, and they don't have the wide receivers their wide receivers.
Both Julio and A. Brown.
So, and Derrick Henry was still able to get it up, especially in the second half. He was really pounding it and being able to get it up. So I think we had good moments and we had bad moments. And then you want to talk offensively? I'll let you talk a little bit because I think
Zach Wilson had a really good game today. You're pessimistic.
He had moments of amazingness, and then he had moments of being a rookie.
But there was nothing like in the past 3 weeks there was really bad rookie mistakes. Like what was going on here? There was a few rookie mistakes, but nothing massive.
No. You're right. Yeah. No, I'm not saying it was massive. I'm just saying he had a couple of missed plays that would have that prolonged the game where we could have He had I think 3 plays or 4 passing yards, which were just amazing, right? At the second half. He was just throwing these. That guy could throw. He can throw. He just...
That touchdown to Corey Davis, oh my God. It was in between 2 guys in Corey Davis's hands.
Then he had a little bit... he had quite a few. Yeah. He had 4... One of them was a pass interference, right? But that was a big throw. And then I think he had 3 huge monster throws. Just going out there, just... The throws, and accurate passes. Because those 4, he had 4 or 5 absolutely amazing plays, and the rest was
boring. But it was what you need to do. That's what you do to win games. You do the boring plays.
The play calling was a little too much run, and then the problem is
it's not okay. I just want to clear this up. It's not that you shouldn't run the ball. It's that you run the ball in such a boring fashion. Stop running the ball up the middle. You're that's like Gates, right?
Well, we weren't. We obviously were not able to run
because they started doing the jet sweeps and the fancy runs during the game, and those plays worked. That's the type of running you need, right? LaFleur's trying to do the 49ers system with the Shanahan system. A lot of their run plays are unique and creative. LaFleur's a bit boring, and boring run plays up the middle do not work when you have a battle line.
We had no run game, right? So the total is just so rushing yards. So to get perspective was 66. So we had 66 yards of rushing the whole game. That's not usually going to win a game. You cannot. It's just not enough. So we had to do a lot of passing. And his stats was, what was his stats? What's his stats?
Who, Zach Wilson?
No. Yeah, of course, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Okay, he was 21 for 34, 297 yards, basically 300, 2 touchdowns and a pick. But that one pick, Corey Davis fell in the route. And he threw he should have been. It was anticipation, and it was kind of Corey Davis's fault. So it wasn't really.
Yes. So And there were a couple of fourth downs where if they just stopped them and then they didn't, like there were a couple of fourth down plays. In fact, what the hell? Hold on.
What?
No, I'm looking at this.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to talk about Crowder. I think Crowder had a pretty good day coming back. He was a pretty reliable target.
Fourth down. Okay, so fourth down efficiency here was 2 of 3. So out of 3, 2 out of 3.
For us?
No, for them. We didn't get any. We
They
didn't have
only
any
went for
them.
3?
Yeah, they only went for 3.
Okay.
So, but they got 2 out of 3, which is not good, right? And so, good. I'll let you go. Yeah, 7 sacks. We only got 1 sack on Zach Wilson, so that was good. Punts 5, 6. I'm just looking at penalties.
Speaking of the sacks on Zach Wilson, it's so hard to sack him. You got to see this. He's juking out these defenders. He's so elusive and fast for his size.
Yeah, he can move. I mean, you've seen him. There were a couple times where he was getting sacked and he was able to get out. And to be fair to the defense too, because I also said that they were kind of average. To be fair, and this is very, very important. Okay, time of possession. Okay, Tennessee Titans 40 minutes and 42 seconds. Okay, that the defense was on the field. The Titans. Our was only on for 29 minutes and 3 seconds because our offense was, as I said, we had a couple of great going down fields, but overall, we just put the defense on. They were just playing too long. They were getting tired. I mean, the first half they were shutting them out, like field goal. And I think they just got tired. Yeah. I think they just got tired because the offense of the Jets, which is, it got better in the second half, and we had some monster plays that brought us down the field, but it wasn't like.
We didn't work our way down the field.
Yeah, there was no play where I think the first drive was, but there was no other, like the first drive we worked.
It does. It's not long term. You don't win that way in long term.
No,
that's
like it was okay. It was a good win. Listen, Tennessee Titans are a good team, right?
But they're also missing 2 of their stars.
Yes, but they're a playoff contending team.
Yes,
and so I think that was a good win. It wasn't like a last place horrible team where that Tennessee Titans, they have a top running back.
The best running back in the league.
Tannehill is
a top 10 quarterback.
Top 10. I mean, so to come out with a win in overtime, playing it tough, I'm pretty happy with that. Honestly, I think they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean,
they're a good team. Are they a Super Bowl team? No, probably not.
Well, last 2 years ago they won the AFC Championship. Last year
So exactly. So to come out with that win, that's pretty good. And I think Zach Wilson looked much better this game.
And he's still with confidence. He's not being gun shy, right? Because a lot of times when rookie quarterbacks have a lot of mistakes.
That guy is not gun shy. I mean, those passes, he's like, at one point he was like, go down. like
the Corey Davis touchdown. He said, go down, and he just threw it to him. Yeah. It could have been a completion of like 30 yards, but he's like, nope, I want more.
He just kept on going out. Yeah, so he threw a couple of monster passes. So overall, pretty happy. Scary, but they're a young team. So, as I said,
every win that you get is nice.
You have to, with a grain of salt. They're very young. I mean, Salah's young. They're all very, very young coaches. I personally would have went in overtime. I was debating with you. First of all, when they were 3rd and 1. I don't know what the play. I don't know why they
well, listen, I was listening to the announcer. Most of the time, that was a defensive tackle. The defensive tackle just read that perfectly. Most of the time, I know that play. Most of the time, that's a wide open walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, well, not for the Jets. And then for 4th and 5, honestly, I probably would have went for it because the defense was tired. I mean, they won, thank God, but it was getting a little. I mean, Tennessee was walking it down the field, and if that field goal was in, it would have been a tie game. Where to me, I would have went for the. I would, you're 5 yards away from sealing it. You're 0-3. You don't want to go 0-4 or 0-3 with a tie. You need that win just for momentum. And and the defense, it was tired. And the Tennessee, the second half was getting it down the field. They were running it. Tannehill was passing it down the field. So I probably would have went to 4th and 5 and just tried to finish off the game. But they didn't, and they paid off. They were able to get that stop, and he tried a 49-yard field goal. And that's a long field goal, so it worked out well for us.
But there was a few studs on the defense, though. Specifically, Quincy Williams. I was very sorry. Let's not talk about the ones who we already know studs. Like, we talk about Quinnen. We already know he's a stud. I mean, do we really need to go on? I mean, he's a monster.
But the line was...
The surprise ones, though, specifically Quincy Williams. We picked him up off of waivers, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. He had a monster game. He's all over the field, constantly making big plays, tackling Derrick Henry. I mean, he had a very good game. I guess that family's just good at football. Right, because Quinnen also had a monster game. He had 2 sacks. He was constantly eating up the double teams, doing great. That entire line played great. But I don't want to ramble on. We'll talk about it in our next podcast on Thursday.
I mean, Quincy Williams had two sacks, right? So let's go through. C.J. Mosley had a sack. Quincy Williams had a sack. Bryce Hall had a half a sack, but Bryce Hall was
all over.
What was that thing? I'm not Bryce Hall. Bryce Huff. He had 1.5 sacks, and even a lot of those sacks, he was there. I mean,
even like the Quinnen Williams sacks, he was also getting pressure.
He was there. I mean, he was in there with those sacks. He didn't so. Bryce Huff, I thought he played great. Bryce. Let's see.
John Franklin Myers played.
Nathan
good.
Shepard, can we get rid of him?
Yeah, he had oh my God, he had 5 penalties at important times. He was killing us.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's better to play with 10 men on the field.
Yeah.
Honestly, he did not do anything to help us, and he only hurt us in the important times.
I mean, John Franklin Myers, he had a sack. I mean, the team was they were just crushing it. And then all of a sudden they would give up these big plays. It was really weird.
That's a secondary because we have a very weak secondary. Echols was out. Echols.
I like to give
Carter was out.
I like to give a shout out to the kicker too, Matt Amendola, man, 2 for 2. I'm telling you, he's good. I mean, he's
got power to his kicks. I mean, he's got.
The thing is, if you watch him, every kick is right down the center.
Actually, no, the first extra point wasn't. First extra point was almost a miss, but besides that, all the others
because he just boom. He's good.
I also thought it was very interesting. The last kick in overtime, it wasn't a normal kick. He did it to the side it was very little power. It was it was on purpose, obviously, because it wasn't a long field goal. It was just a very strange thing that you don't really see.
We had, as I said, the defensive line I think played awesome. Zach Wilson, thought he played okay, and then he had some awesome plays. It was really weird. It was really weird.
I'm happy with the way he played.
No, I'm happy with the way he played.
He showed promise.
I mean, he showed some passes that, holy crap. I mean,
it's like a Rodgers throw.
But multiple. I mean, he had 4 monster. It was but then at some point you're he was missing some short passes. I mean, there was one point where it was, I didn't think they were talking about it. It was he had 2 minutes to go at the
end of the
fourth
Corey Davis
quarter.
miss?
Corey Davis, he missed that. If he just got that first down, we probably could have won the game. There were certain things that put him to. So there's certain misses there were a couple of missed passes that kind of made it closer than if he was on top of his game all the way. But then he had these monster passes. I mean, I haven't seen a quarterback. I mean, even just watching regular games, watching quarterbacks who he'll throw 50 yards downfield. I mean, when was the last time you've seen, even when you look at the quarterbacks, all these quarterbacks, you don't see too much of them. I see Mahomes do it, but a lot of quarterbacks don't throw 30-yard passes consistently. He'll just be all right, let me just throw it down the field. Constantly. It's not one play. It's you'll see that a lot of times with a play, they'll call it Hail Mary play, right? But it's play after play.
But it's not just throwing it up there. It's right there. It's in their hands.
It's accurate. He, as I said, I think he's going to get there.
I think he could be. What he reminds me of, he kind of reminds me of a Brett Favre, like a gunslinger. Like he's just going to throw it. He's going to throw it.
He's either going to get it and be a great quarterback, or he's going to be just crazy gunslinger with a ton of interceptions.
Like Winston, like Jameis Winston.
He's either going to be gone in 3 or 4 years, or he's going to be great.
I don't see it in between. I think he's very aggressive.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be just a turnover machine consistently and have 2 or 3 good games and then a couple of bad games, and he won't last because he just turns over the ball too much, or he'll just get it and settle down and be this amazing quarterback. He's not going to be this average because he's not a he's not a game manager.
He's not a pocket, right? Because a lot of times you don't need a clean pocket. I feel like he's better outside when the play is off script. He does better than vice versa.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, very happy. Wow, what a game! What a long game. As I said, came out with a win.
Clinching the seat the entire time.
I mean, everybody played. C.J. Mosley was on. I mean, just to give props out to all these. I mean, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, they were great. I mean, just
Gedry played good too.
Franklin Myers was great. They were all in it too. It wasn't even if they all didn't get, they were all kind of on top of it. I mean, he was just Daniel was getting rushed all over the place. He couldn't. Yeah. I mean, he was just even when he was just getting pressured all over the place. So they really did well. I mean, Zach was he's just 21 for 21 out of 34, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's not bad. That's not great. That's not bad.
I would say that's a good game for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say to this? Because obviously, so as I said, we'll just talk about this game a little bit, and then we're gonna
go more in depth on Thursday and talk more about the Falcons game coming up in London. But
that's gonna be an early game.
Yeah, we have to wake up early.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it anyway. Everyone wants to talk about this game here.
Don't forget, If you like our content, go ahead and like and subscribe. And don't forget, if you have any opinions on what we're saying, whether you agree with us or disagree with us, let us know. Comment down below.
Where was Mims?
Yeah, where was he? I don't know where he was. But whatever, we're getting
I think he was in the parking lot.
No, he was actually in the medical tent.
He
was active, but he barely played. Whatever, we'll talk about that on Thursday. I think
we're done.
Yeah,
that was it. Boy, so short. It's the thing is, it's so rare for a win. We just want to keep on talking.
Yeah,
it's like usually when it's lost, we're like, okay, 2 minutes. Now we're all excited because we actually have a win. So it's rare for us, but I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot more of them. Anyway, this is Jarrett,
and this is Eli,
and this is Jets Chat.